Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be showing you how I get my Ocean Effect in this turtle tray. I'm so excited because I love these ones. They turn out slightly different every time, which is so fun about resin. And yeah, I'm excited to show you how I get it. So I'm starting off by using some frog tape. And the reason I'm doing this is to lift off any dust or any like silver flake or anything that I've used previously in this mold that's kind of like stuck there. Any residue basically, and this just lifts it off really easily. Sometimes I use scotch tape as well. I think normal tape would be fine, but these ones are just a bit more gentler on your mold, which is good. I have already pre-mixed my resin as well, so as usual I'll be using Craft Resin for this project, which I absolutely love. If you want a discount code and to try it for yourself, you can use Stand Together UK at checkout. All the links will be down below though if you want to check them out. So other than that, let's just get started. Okay, so I've got my colours mixed up already. In this one I've just got some sand and some resin. Then in this one I've got the turquoise blue. Now the colours I've been using for the mica powders, they're ones from the Craft Resin mica powder range, which I absolutely love. Again, you can use the code Stand Together UK at checkout on the website if you want to try them for yourself. But this one is my favourite one ever. I use this on so many projects. It's a beautiful, beautiful colour. And the pigment is great on these as well, meaning you only need a little bit. It'll go such a long way. And then I've got cobalt blue as well. I've got two of the cobalt blue mixed up, and the reason for that is I'm just going to deepen one of them to more of a navy blue by adding some black alcohol ink. Now I'm only going to need a couple of drops, so I'm using the Fluids one today, which you can find on Amazon. Just popped a little bit of that in there, and then I'm just going to give that a little mix as well, and see how it's just deepened that colour and just made a gorgeous navy blue colour. Absolutely love that. And then it's still got the tones of the other blue as well. And then I'm also going to add a bit of resin. Got a bit of resin in here, and I'm going to add some white alcohol ink into there. Again, I'm using Fluids. I absolutely love Fluids, and you want a good brand when using your white, especially because I'm going to be adding silicone oil to this white, and what that does is that's what's going to create the beautiful cells that you see within the resin that kind of look like waves. So I'm just going to add 2 drops of silicone oil. You don't want to add more than that, else it won't work. And you'll get a weird burn kind of effect on your resin, so don't ever use more than 2 drops. But yeah, other than that, let's pour and see what we get. So I'm going to start off with my sand. Sand does tend to sink as well, so you always need a bit more sand than you think. But I'm going to be filling it with stones and shells as well, so I'm not too worried about that. Next up I'm going to use the turquoise colour, which is my favourite one of the Craft Resin mica powder range. I'm also filling about halfway. I'm not filling to the top, I'm doing about halfway of the mould because I'm going to do this in 2 layers. So I'm going to do my first layer, and then I'm going to let it set, and then I'm going to do my top coat with just clear resin. Next up I've got the cobalt blue colour, and then I've got the cobalt blue but with the black alcohol ink, so it's just slightly deeper than the other blue that we've just done. Don't worry, we'll make these lines blend shortly. Okay, I'm just going to go through and add another layer of each colour, just because it's quite thin at the minute, so I want to make sure that it's not too thin. Just going to go back in with a bit of sand. If you have a project that's too thin, sometimes it can cause a mean blushing, which is kind of like a wrinkle effect. So you want to make sure it's not, your first layer is not too thin. Okay, I'm really happy with that. Now I get to add the white, which is the most exciting part. So as you know, I've added the silicone oil to it already. What I like to do is I just like to take a bit on the wooden stick like this, and I like to drag it through the resin. This helps just activate those cells. Look, you can see there's beautiful cells already forming. And when you drag it through your resin, that just really helps do that, as opposed to just pouring it in. You won't get the same kind of effect. Really happy with how those cells are looking already. Sometimes if you add heat to this as well, that will activate your cells a bit more. Also, because my cells are going a bit crazy, I'm just going to get a little bit more resin in a separate cup, And I'm going to add a bit of white alcohol ink to that with no silicone oil, just so I can get some defined lines in those waves. Don't worry, we can pop any air bubbles that we have shortly. Just going to grab the heat gun and just blast it just for a couple of seconds. When using a heat gun, you don't want to keep it in the same place for very long. So just be aware of that. Sorry for the noise. This is the heat gun I use, by the way. It's just off Amazon. Also, notice how I'm going to push up. That'll help as well. Just with the formation of how like the waves would be. And that's it with that. I'm really happy with how they're turning out. Okay, the next bit, I'm just going to spritz it with some alcohol spray just to get rid of some bubbles there in the sand. This is the one I use, again, just off of Amazon. Then I have got some cute little shells which I'm going to add to the bottom. How cool are these? Wait, how cute are these? And it just brings it to life that little bit more. So I'm just going to scatter those across the sand. It also adds like depth to the piece as well, which is nice. I've also got a little bit of gravel, which I'm going to stick in there as well. And then finally I'm going to add this cute little turtle because I think it'll be so cute because it's like a turtle within a turtle. And I'm just going to prop him up there and let him set. Oh my goodness, I am obsessed. Hey everyone, so it is the next day now. It has been roughly 24 hours and I'm going to top coat it. I have just mixed up my resin. If you want to know how I mix up my craft resin specifically, we do have another video on the YouTube channel. But what I like to do is once I've mixed up my resin, I let it sit for about 5 to 8 minutes just to keep heating up. And if there are any like mini micro bubbles or anything like that, this leaving it aside for a few minutes, it really does help eliminate those too. So I'm just going to pop my gloves on. I'm using nitrile gloves if you're wondering, and then I'll pour my top coat. I'm so excited to see how this is going to turn out when I demold it tomorrow. I just love this mold so much. This is probably one of my favourite, if not my favourite mold that I have. And then what I'll do is once I've poured this clear layer, I'll just spritz it with a little bit of alcohol spray to get rid of any bubbles that might be around. Then again, I'll leave this to set for 24 hours before demolding it. It is the next day now and I'm so excited to demold this. Just look how it's looking, and again that crystal clear finish that I love about craft resin. It looks like glass. I just love it so much. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching. If you do want to see any more videos, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out, because we have so much exciting stuff coming really soon. Also, if you want to find me on any social media, it's just Stand Together UK, all one word. I'm really excited to see what the next few weeks brings with some super exciting projects. Other than that, I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone.